Sack Life, Beat Depression. It's day 656, and we're back with another fix, a somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, as you know, we focus on mental health tools mixed with martial arts. That first and most powerful mental health tool, not the most powerful, but a very powerful mental health tool that we focus in on is gratitude. So I'm going to think about some things that I'm grateful for today, and that's going to help put me in that positive mindset. The first and foremost thing that I'm grateful for is you guys, the people out there who are supporting the cause and supporting each other. And I want to shout out to the first ones in today, Luca coming in from Canada, and Mad with Hats. Not sure, I think you're out here in Jersey with my brother. Appreciate you out there, appreciate that support. Also, Silky One, thank you for being here as well. Appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. Social support is a really powerful thing as well as a powerful mental health tool. Finding the right people to be around, finding people with similar mindsets, growth-based mindsets, and people that either build you up and are moving in the same direction that you're going in, or people who are in a position where you want to be. By surrounding yourself with those types of people and like-minded people will help you make progress as well. Especially in critical times, it's good to know that we're not alone when we're dealing with mental health issues. That being said, think about some things that you're grateful for today that'll help you put yourself in a positive mindset before we move into the lesson. And the second mental health tool we want to talk about is the progress tracking tool. It's been 656 days of consecutive progress for me. The Sack Man, let me know how many days it's been for you. And I hope that you keep track of that number, because keeping track of that progress will show you how powerful you are, even in the face of anything that's trying to tell you otherwise, like those lies that depression or anxiety tries to sell us. And let's touch on the comments real quick. Mad with Hats said, yo, what's up, Mad with Hats? Luca said, hi, how's it going, buddy? And Silky One said, is that guy your friend? He is my friend, but also my mortal enemy, because we'll be beating him senseless. But it's for our benefit that we beat him senseless, since he's not a real person. He's been designed to take a beating, and it's all consensual. So if you do not have a sparring partner out there and you want to pick up a Bob, pretty good next level, getting closer and closer to that real pressure testing. Bob has a lot of benefits over the heavy bag. Heavy bag has benefits over Bob. They each have their pros and cons. And the more ways you have to train, the more fun you can make that training routine for yourself with that variability out there. Shout out to Soul Traveler. Thanks for being here. And I am Carlson. What's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. We talked about our gratitude section. We talked about the list, the progress tracking tool. Hope you guys are keeping track of that stuff. Sack Life versus Bob. Heck yeah. Bob is definitely improving my life. I love Bob, by the way. I'm looking forward to a very happy long-term relationship with Bob. He's improving my technical skills, my striking accuracy, and that's one of the things that Bob is good for. The heavy bag is great for getting a hard, heavy, powerful hit, developing that power in those shots and really laying into it, getting all that energy out. And Bob, you want to go a little bit lighter. You want to stick with more technical shots so you can improve that accuracy. And as soon as I got him and set him up and I started striking on him, immediately noticed I have a ton of room for improvement when it comes to accuracy and technique. And that's why I'm so excited to continue training with Bob. So we'll include Bob a little bit in our lesson today. We'll talk about that accuracy. We're going to stick to basics, jab and cross, but we'll be working with level changes. And we might get into stepping off of that center line and throwing maybe a hook or something flowy in the mix. We'll see how it goes. Lucas said, is Bob heavy or not heavy? He's not heavy until you fill him with water or sand. We filled this one with water, so now he's about 250 pounds at the base, and then the rest of Bob's not too bad. And water is good because it was quick. It took me 6 minutes to fill this guy up, and now he's good enough. He's rooted enough that he can take punches. He's going to move a little bit. He's going to move around, which is a pro and con as well. If you don't want him to move as much, you'll want to fill him with sand. You can get almost double the weight out of him, and that'll really keep him rooted. Thank you, When Roses Blossom, for being here as well. And another cool thing about Bob, I'm not selling Bobs, by the way. I'm not here to just promo Bob. But I want to shout out gratitude to Century Martial Arts for sending me this Bob for free. We won the Bobskers, so that's why he's here. And I'm just like genuinely sharing the excitement about training with Bob. He's cool because he's also height adjustable. So if you twist him on his base, he adjusts up and down to several different heights. And that's good for a lot of different things. If you're training, in general training, you want someone, same head level, same eye level as you for training. But you might want to lower them so you can practice kicks more easily, especially roundhouse kicks to the head. Set them to a lower level before you have that flexibility built up. Let you get some kicks off there. Enough about Bob. We're going to be doing a whole segment just for Bob with other martial artists. So if you're a martial artist out there and you'd like to share the way that you enjoy most to train with Bob and have a Bob party together with me, we'll all do shots. Bob will be taking the shots. We'll be calling them. And yeah, if you'd like to join me for that, for some fun, let me know in the DMs. I'm working on getting the equipment set up for that. My camera just died. Not my camera, my phone. What's the thing? The microphone. My microphone just died the other day. So I apologize for the ambient noise and outside noise. Working on a new headset that allow us two-way communication for the Bob segment. That being said, enough about Bob. Let's get back into the lesson. Today's lesson, we're going to work from Muay Thai stance. We covered those progress tracking. We covered the gratitude tool as well. Make sure you think about what you're grateful for. Now we're going to talk about the stance, and the execution for today is technical. We'll be doing our standard rounds, 3 rounds, as it is a Thursday. It's a regular high-intensity training day. If you're looking for that low-intensity day for active recovery, we do those on Sundays and Wednesdays. If you're ready for a high-intensity session, that's what we're doing today. We're going to be doing 3 rounds, 3 minutes each, 1 minute breaks in between to catch your breath and drink some water. Make sure that you're challenging yourself to your skill level. The things you can moderate out there is the volume of punches, the power behind those punches, and the speed at which you toss those punches. So those are all things in your control. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself a challenge, but it's not too hard where it feels like so much work you need a day off, and it's not too easy where you feel bored. We want to aim for that zone in between, and that will help us attain that state of flow. And when you're in a state of flow, there's nowhere stress cannot exist. It's been defined as a eustress experience. So that's what we're aiming for out here, having mental health as the focus of the show. Shout out as well to James F. Cargo. Thank you for being here. And let's get into the lesson. We're going to be working from a balanced Muay Thai stance. So if you do have a Bob dummy, you can square up your hips and shoulders with that dummy. If you don't have the dummy, visualize that target. Visualize a striking surface, that visualize depression dummy, and assign it that name that you want to work on. If it's anxiety or depression, that way we can consciously acknowledge what we're doing every day. We fight forwards for ourselves and knocking out those lies of depression or anxiety. So go ahead and visualize your dummy, square up with it, shoulders and hips. We're going to talk about stepping into the jab, twisting through the shoulders, turning that fist over and keeping the wrist straight. We're aiming this time, we're going to think a little more technically, we're aiming for the nose on that dummy. So to illustrate on Bob, when we're squared up, squared hips, squared shoulders, we're going to step in, twist through, and land on the large 2 knuckles, either one. Those are your ideal striking surfaces. That's that most supported part. We're going to land on those large 2 knuckles, and the way we're going to do it is by turning that fist over, twisting through, right, and keeping that wrist nice and straight so we can land a nice, powerful punch, boom, right into Bob's nose. Targeting the nose today. So visualize that depression dummy's nose, and go ahead, step in, twist through the body, and land on that nose with those large 2 knuckles. For the cross, it's the same thing. So when we twist through for the cross, we're twisting on the ball of the back foot, sending that fist all the way forwards. Again, we want to twist through, turn that fist over so we can land on those large 2 knuckles. Remember how to make a proper fist. It starts with the thumbs up, right? Close those front fingers, tuck the thumb behind the top, underneath those top 2 fingers, supporting that shape, and land on those knuckles nice and straight. For the cross, here we are. We've stepped in, we've hit him with the jab, we've turned the fist over, landed on the nose. Now we're going to turn on the ball of the back foot, boom, and our fist is now going to have the range it needs to go right through Bob's face, as illustrated, right, by the Bob dummy. Can't see that stuff unless your imagination's really good when you're working with that depression dummy. But Bob is a great tool. I gotta stop. I'm not trying to sell you a Bob. I'm just saying. Bob's a great tool for that practice as well. Shout out to Wesley Oliver. Thank you for being here as well. Appreciate that support. So we talked about the jab. We talked about the cross. We're going to talk about level changes too. When we do level changes, we want to strike high and low. Boom, high, right? Boom, high. Now, if I want to strike low, I'm not going to toss my fist down here because it's going to leave me completely exposed by my face, and you want to protect that head so we take as little damage as possible. So what we want to do for level changes is stepped in for the jab. That's our normal strike. We want to sink on the knees and twist through, boom. So it still turns into kind of a straight punch. It's still a nice straight punch, but we're adjusting that level and hitting the different zones on our target. So we'll be doing variable combos with jab and cross, working on jab and cross, high and low combos, and we'll be switching stance. So if you're advanced, feel free to switch stance. We're in orthodox position to start, and for beginners, stick with orthodox. And if we call out a switch, boom, we'll swap everything and we'll practice the same thing from southpaw. I know my southpaw needs a lot of work, but that's why this show is my daily self-care, my daily progress as well, being shared with you. It's effective for everybody. We all get to win when we share our self-care routine. So, that being said, we'll be doing switch stances, level changes, and working that jab cross into multiple combos. We might step off the line and do a counter, work on rotation, flow that in there, but we'll see how it goes by the third round. And remember, make sure you are drinking a ton of water out there, especially on higher intensity days, and you're pushing to your level. What else? Last thing, we're going to have that fighting spirit of the 80s coming through from our retro synth boombox. Bam, once it works. Get it. Let's do this thing. Here we go. We'll stick with the daily beat for today. Bam. Right there, should be coming in loud and clear. And go ahead and square up with your visualized target. Shout out to Slayer Ken, thanks for being here. Square up with your visualized target. We're going to get this thing going. Go ahead and square those hips, square those shoulders, balanced stance, Muay Thai stance. Bring the guard up high by the head. Close those fingers. Remember, thumbs up. Tuck the thumb behind those top two fingers. And we're going to really think about accuracy. Really think about turning that fist over and keeping that wrist straight for the jab today. So step in, twist through, keep that wrist straight, turn that fist over, and land on those large two knuckles. Rotate back to stance, and let's do it again. Step in, boom. Wrist straight, fist closed. Pop, step in, and deliver that shot right to the nose. Visualize that target. Visualize cracking the nose on that depression dummy. Boom! We're doing damage to him, making him weaker as we get stronger. After each strike or each combo, go ahead and return back to that balanced stance and get your movement going. Shifting that weight from the front foot to the back foot. You can work in horizontal movement as well. 1 foot at a time. Do not let those feet come together. Do not become narrow. Keep them nice and balanced. Tuck the chin, roll those shoulders, curl the hips, bend the knees, and step in for it. Let's go. Exhale hard on that strike and deliver those knuckles, that knuckle sandwich right to the dummy's face. Let's do it on Bob. Boom, step in, turn through, wrist straight, knuckles make contact with the nose, and then rotate back to square stance. Work on your distance. Step in, get close to that dummy, and turn through the body, turn through the shoulders and hips, twist it on the ball of the front foot, bam, deliver that jab, and back to stance. Let's add in the cross. For the cross, same thing, it's going to flow right out of the jab. We're going to rotate right on through to the cross, twisting on the ball of the back foot. Step in for jab, cross. 1, 2, head stays on the center line, chin nice and tucked. Keep that guard high and let's go. 1 to the nose, 2 to the nose of that depression dummy. Chin tucked. Let's go. 1 more time. 1 to the nose, 2 to the nose. Exhale hard on those strikes and bring it back to square after each one. 1, 2 to the nose. Let's go. Pop. 1, 2. Boom. Back to stance. Step in for 1. Rotate for 2 and back to stance. And you notice I'm not perfectly hitting his nose every time, and that's why Bob is showing me where I've got room for improvement. Step in for the number 1, pop to the nose, push to the nose, back to stance, 1, 2, 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 back to stance, 1, 2. Back to stance and keep it going at your pace. Let's go. 1, 2. Turn through those fists and hit that nose. Knock that depression dummy out. Let's go. 1, 2. Back to stance. Keep it moving. Add in a 3 if you want. 1, 2, 3. Jab, cross, jab. Back to stance. And that's the end of round 1. Drink some water. Catch your breath. Check in on yourself. We're going to start adding level changes. We'll get into switch stances in the second or third round. Ooh, guess what? I got 6 of 10 on my sinus test today. Oh, well, good job, Luca. I don't know what that means, but congrats on 6 out of 10. That's not bad, more than half. We've got 30 seconds before we get back into the lesson. We're going to stick with the jab cross, but we're going to start adding in level changes in this next one. Also, you can increase the volume of those punches, make that combo even longer for yourself, and give yourself a challenge. All right, if it's super easy and you've done this a million times, give yourself a challenge. Double up those strikes, triple up those strikes. Punch to the beat of the music, punch to the beat of your own rhythm out there. Whatever you do, make sure it's a challenge for you. Without challenge, there is no growth. Let's square back up with that dummy. Squared hips, squared shoulders. Hands high, close the fingers, tuck the thumbs. Box those fists, right? Roll the fists to keep the pace, keep the rhythm. As you shift that weight from the front foot to the back foot, closer and further away. Let's start with a 3-hit combo to the face. 3 hits to the nose, twist through that body, twist it on the ball of the front foot. Twist it on the ball of the back foot. Twist it on the ball of the front foot. Again, keeping that chin tucked into those shoulders for defense. 1, 2, 3. Back to stance on the bob dummy. 1, 2, 3. Back to stance and speed it up. Back to stance, speed it up. Back to stance. Back to stance. Back to stance. 3 shots. And back, right to the nose. And back. And back, square up. You could give it a hop if you've got more energy out there. Step in for the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hop off that front foot. Boom. Create some distance. Get yourself back out of that danger zone. 1, 2, 3 to the head. And back out. 1, 2, 3. And back out. 1, 2, 3. Back out. Step in for that number 1. Hit them hard. Boom, boom, boom. And back to stance. We're going to add in level changes now. We're going to go high, low, high. We're going to start with the high jab. Rotate through to the cross. We're keeping the combo the same. And then rotate back up for the jab. It's going to look like this. On the bob, step in for the jab to the nose. Sink for the cross to the solar plexus. And then rise back up for the jab to the nose again. Back to square. It's a nice 3-hit variable combo. Throw that enemy off. Hit them in all those soft spots. Step in for the nose. Boom. Sink on the knees, rotate through for that solar plexus chest shot, and then rotate back on the way up, standing up, and hit them in the nose. Let's do it together. 3-hit combo here. And back to stance. Back to stance. Back to stance. Step in. Back to stance. What it looks like on the bob. Step in for 1. Boom, boom, boom. Back to stance. Hey. All right. Keep going. And back to stance. Step in for the 1. Rotate for 2. Rotate for 3. Keep it square. Remember to reset after each combo back to square. Reset that brain and start the combo all over again. 1, 2, 3. Back. 1, 2, 3. Back. 1, 2, 3. Back. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3. Back. Rotate through that body. Turn those hips. Hit that high, low, high. High, low. Back up to high and back to stance. That's the end of round 2. Catch your breath. Drink some water. I hope you're pushing to your level out there. And if you get a chance to get on a bag or get to a bob, increase that challenge. Remember, as your skill level increases, you got to give yourself an increased challenge. Otherwise, you stop growing. And that comfort zone is a cage. It's a comfortable cage. Prevents us from growth. 35 seconds. So don't get too comfortable. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a heads up from the sack man. Want to keep pushing and keep finding those challenges so that we can keep seeing that growth. Rest is an important part of the equation as well. With proper rest, you'll be able to get the benefits of that daily consistency and that daily training. Rest is the only time that we build new connections to the muscles and rebuild stronger muscles. So if you're training, not giving yourself enough rest, you're just breaking yourself down. It's that rest period that builds us back up. Speaking of which, break is over. Square back up with that depression dummy. And we're going to be working that 1, 2, 3 high-low combo. But this time we're going to switch it up by swapping the stance. So by popping into southpaw position, everything is mirrored, almost all the identical movements, but this time coming from the opposite side of the body. So now your power hand, that was your rear hand, is now your front hand, and that's now your jab. So your closest shot to the face of the opponent is now your jab. If we square up in orthodox stance, guards high, and we go ahead and swap it over to southpaw position. We're going to step in for the jab, boom. Rotate through for the cross, rotate through for the jab, and back to stance, back to orthodox, or back to southpaw. Let's start in southpaw and stick with southpaw for a little while. Step in for jab, cross, jab, just to the head, no level change this time. And back. Keep it southpaw. And back. I know it feels weird. Step in. And back. Head tucked on that center line. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3. Turn that fist over. Land on the visualized nose of that depression dummy. 1, 2, and 3. Turn through that body. And back to square. Square those hips. Square those shoulders. Let's refine our form. Back to stance. Back to stance. Back in. Keep going. Southpaw session. Let's go. Keep it squared. Keep it balanced. Turn through that body. Turn those fists over. Keep those wrists nice and straight. 3 shots to the head. Turn through that body. Turn those fists. Land on those large knuckles. And back to stance. What it looks like on the bob. All nose shots, right? Knuckles on nose. 1, 2, 3. And back to stance. Keeping it southpaw. Step in for 1, 2, 3. And back to stance. Southpaw. 3 shots to the head. Keep going. Back into it. Square up. Square up. Chin on the center line. Shoulders rolled high. Guard held high by the brow line. Square up and rotate through those shots at your level. Keep going. Sink into a little bit of bend on the knees. Helps in the rotation. Back to stance. Let's work the high-low now. High. Sink for the low. Solar plexus. Rotate back up for a jab to the face and square back up with that opponent. High. Low. High. Back to square. Southpaw. High. Low. High. Back to square, keep it going. High, low, high. Back up to stance. High, low, high. And that's the end of round 2. Oh, round 3. That was all 3 rounds. Dang, time flies when you're having fun. I hope that you're having fun out there and you're pushing yourself to your skill level as you develop those skills. Ooh, and that is, like we said before, challenge is the way that you're going to be able to see growth every day. And our goal is the process. Our goal is to show up for that process and give ourselves a challenge every day. And whether that challenge for you is 1 minute, remember it was a challenge just to get out of bed. So if that challenge for you is 1 minute today, that still counts as 1 minute of progress. That still counts as 1 step ahead. So make sure you're keeping track of those steps, because every single step matters. Every single step is important. And the more steps you have in document, in real life, in this physical world, the more evidence you have that you can look at on your tough days and say, I know what I can do. I know what I have done. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can look forward to doing for the next 656 days. And I'm only going to get stronger, as evidenced by yourself, your own progress. So keep going out there. Ken said 264. Heck yeah, Ken. Good stuff out there. Thank you for sharing that progress. And shout out to Ree Brickman. She just missed the class, but thanks for being here. Appreciate that support. Remember, the replay is always available if you are taking this as a daily training course for yourself, for your mental health. The replay is always available for you to take this class on your own schedule at your own time. Until next time, I'll catch you same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out.